What if I told you the most confident person you know isn't smarter, richer, or more attractive than you? They just made different choices. Confidence isn't a gift, it's a skill. And today I'm giving you 9 secrets to master it. Confidence changes everything. How you speak, how you carry yourself, and how the world responds to you. Most people wait for permission to feel confident. But the truth, confidence comes when you take action before you're ready. This isn't about ego, it's about becoming grounded, bold, and unstoppable. Let's dive in. Number 1. Confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. Confidence doesn't begin with applause, awards, or affirmation from others. It begins in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It begins the moment you decide to keep a promise you made to yourself, and then you follow through. Most people think confidence is a personality trait. They believe some people are just born with it, while others are not. But the truth is, confidence is a byproduct. It's the natural outcome of proving to yourself, again and again, that you can be trusted with your own word. Here's how it works. Every time you say you'll do something, and then do it, you cast a vote for your identity. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. Waking up when your alarm goes off, hitting the gym when you don't feel like it, showing up on time, choosing the salad over the fries. These small wins become evidence, and over time that evidence turns into unshakable belief. I can count on me. Think of it this way. If a friend made promises and broke them every time, would you trust them? Probably not. So why do we think we can break promises to ourselves and still feel strong and confident? You can't build trust on broken agreements. Confidence is self-trust. It's knowing that when you say, "I'll do it," it gets done. It doesn't require perfection, but it does require consistency. When you let yourself off the hook too many times, your inner belief starts to erode. You feel that erosion as hesitation, as second-guessing, as insecurity, and it shows up in your voice, your body language, your decisions. But here's the good news. You can reverse it starting today. You don't need a grand gesture. You need one small win. Start with one promise you will definitely keep. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. Maybe it's reading 10 pages a day. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk every evening. Don't aim to impress, aim to be consistent. Stack enough of these together and suddenly you walk into rooms differently. You speak with more certainty. You make eye contact. You stop apologizing. Why? Because deep down, you know you've done the work. You've kept the promises. You've earned your own respect. And here's something powerful. When you trust yourself, the opinions of others start to matter less. You don't need to seek approval because you've already given it to yourself. You stop looking outside for validation and start building it from the inside. Confidence isn't built in the spotlight. It's forged in private, quiet moments where you choose to show up for yourself again and again. So today, choose one promise, keep it, and let that be the first brick in the foundation of a new, unstoppable you. Number 2, train your mind like a muscle. Confidence doesn't just live in your body language, it lives in your mind. And just like any muscle, the mind needs training. Every thought you allow to repeat, every belief you reinforce, every word you say to yourself, it all adds up. You are literally shaping the way you show up in the world, moment by moment. Most people try to fake confidence on the outside while letting their minds run wild on the inside. They smile, they nod, they try to look the part, but deep down, their inner voice is screaming, "You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? You're going to fail." Here's the truth. You will never outperform the story you keep telling yourself. So if you want real, unshakable confidence, stop trying to trick people and start training your thoughts. Start catching those moments when you're tearing yourself down and replace them with truth. I'm not talking about cheesy affirmations or pretending everything's perfect. I'm talking about becoming mentally disciplined. When you think, "I can't do this," interrupt that pattern. Replace it with, "I'm learning how to do this." When you say, "I've never done this before," follow it with, "That's exactly why I need to try." When you feel fear, remind yourself, fear means I'm growing. You don't need to become blindly positive. You need to become ruthlessly constructive. Reframe your inner dialogue like a coach would. not a critic. Great coaches don't ignore weaknesses. They recognize them, but they focus on how to improve. Do the same for yourself. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. Just like going to the gym, mental training takes repetition. But every time you shift your inner dialogue even just once, you're rewiring your brain to support your growth, instead of sabotage it. One simple technique: start your day by writing down 3 things you're proud of, and 3 things you're working on. This builds a mindset of progress, not perfection. It reminds you that you are in motion, you are evolving, and your past does not define your potential. Confidence isn't being the best. It's believing you're capable of becoming better. It's not about never feeling doubt. It's about choosing to move forward anyway, because you've trained your mind to expect progress, not permission. The most confident people you know didn't just wake up that way. They built habits of thinking that reinforced who they wanted to become. They built an internal belief system that supported their goals, not sabotaged them. So train your mind. Speak to yourself like someone worth listening to, because in the end, your mindset is the stage your confidence performs on. If you want to level up your life, start by upgrading your thoughts. Number 3, action beats anxiety. Every time, confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build, and the fastest, most effective way to build it. Take action, especially when you don't feel ready. Because here's the hard truth: you will never think your way into confidence. You must act your way into it. Most people get stuck in what I call the confidence trap. They think, I'll act when I feel confident. But confidence doesn't show up first. Courage does, and that courage only lasts a few seconds. But that's all it takes. Those few seconds of courage can open the door to everything you want. New relationships, new opportunities, new results. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a cold swimming pool. You keep thinking, it's going to be freezing. I'll go in soon. I just need a minute. Minutes pass. The anxiety builds. But if you'd just jumped in, yes, it would have been cold at first. But within moments, you'd adjust. That's what action does. It turns fear into momentum. Every time you act, even when it's uncomfortable, you shrink the power of fear. You send your brain a message: I do hard things. I move forward anyway. And the more often you take action, the more natural it becomes. What once terrified you becomes routine. The opposite is also true. The longer you wait, the louder fear gets. The more you hesitate, the more power you give your self-doubt. Inaction breeds overthinking, and overthinking kills confidence. So here's the mindset shift. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Take imperfect action. Say yes before you're ready. Raise your hand in the meeting. Post the video. Apply for the job. Introduce yourself. Action, even small, shaky action, is the antidote to anxiety. Want to build real, lasting confidence? Create a habit of forward motion. One small action a day that stretches your comfort zone. That's it. You don't need to leap. Just take a step, and then another. Confidence grows when you realize you didn't die after doing something scary. You didn't fall apart. You actually got stronger. Here's a powerful trick. Set minimum viable action. Not I'll write a book, but I'll write 1 paragraph today. Not I'll get fit, but I'll do 10 push-ups. These micro actions compound. They build evidence. They create momentum. And momentum is where confidence lives. You're not lacking confidence. You're lacking motion. Confidence isn't a personality. It's a pattern. And the more you repeat that pattern, taking action in the face of fear, the more that confidence becomes your default. So the next time you feel nervous, unsure, or stuck, ask yourself one question: what's the next small step I can take right now? Then take it. That's how confidence is born. Not all at once, but one bold moment at a time. Number 4, embrace discomfort like it's a gym. Every confident person you admire has one thing in common. They've built a higher tolerance for discomfort. They're not fearless. They're just trained. Where most people retreat, they lean in. Where most avoid, they explore. Because they understand a truth that changes everything. Growth and comfort do not coexist. If you want to become the most confident person you know, you must treat discomfort like a personal training ground, like a gym for your mind and character. Every moment that stretches you, frustrates you, or makes you feel exposed, That's your next rep, and reps equal strength. Think about it. How do you build physical strength? You put stress on your muscles, you lift weights, you push against resistance, and you rest so you can grow. The same applies to your emotional and psychological strength. Confidence is built by pushing through those internal reps. The awkward conversation, the uncertain path, the scary firsts. Discomfort is a signal, not to stop, but to lean in. It means you're expanding your capacity. It means you're moving toward growth, not away from it. Most people avoid discomfort because they confuse it with danger. But feeling uncomfortable isn't the same as being It's not danger, it's development. The key is learning to sit with it without running from it. The more you do this, the more your brain learns. I can handle this. I can face the hard thing and come out stronger. Confidence is built every time you walk into a new situation and realize you didn't break, you didn't fall apart. You adapted, you adjusted, you handled it. Want to be more confident? Start doing things that make you just a little uneasy. Not unsafe, uneasy. Speak up when you usually stay quiet. Introduce yourself to someone new. Say yes to a challenge that intimidates you. Do the thing your brain tells you you're not ready for. You don't need to go skydiving or give a TED talk tomorrow, but you do need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because the person who can endure awkwardness, failure, or rejection without losing momentum, that's the person who will rise faster than anyone else. Here's a challenge. Do one thing every day that makes you slightly uncomfortable. Call it your discomfort rep. Keep a journal. Track it. Reflect on how you felt before, during, and after. You'll start to notice something powerful. You're no longer controlled by your comfort zone. You're expanding it. In a world where most people shrink themselves to feel safe, the confident stand tall, not because they feel no fear, but because they trained for it. They turned discomfort into a classroom. They turned awkwardness into growth. So ask yourself today, what would I do if I stopped avoiding discomfort? That answer holds the key to the next level of your life and the next level of your confidence. Number 5, stop apologizing for existing. One of the most powerful shifts you can make on your journey to unshakable confidence is this: stop apologizing for who you are. I'm not talking about manners or humility. I'm talking about constantly shrinking yourself, downplaying your voice, and dimming your light just to make others more comfortable. That's not kindness. That's self-erasure. Confident people don't tiptoe through life, hoping to be accepted. They move with purpose, speak with clarity, and stand in their truth, not because they think they're better, but because they've made peace with who they are. And when you do that, you stop seeking permission to be fully you. Many of us were raised to believe we had to play small to be liked. Don't speak too loud. Don't take up too much space. Don't brag. So we learned to water ourselves down. We apologized for our ideas. We backtracked on our ambitions. We hid behind modesty when what we really wanted was to own. But here's the reality. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. Not with arrogance, but with authenticity. Confidence isn't about walking into a room thinking you're better than everyone. It's about walking in with zero need to compare at all. And that begins when you stop saying sorry every time you express yourself. You don't need to apologize for sharing your opinion. You don't need to apologize for asking a question. You don't need to apologize for being passionate, driven, introverted, ambitious, bold, creative, analytical. Whatever makes you you, own it. That's your edge. Here's a challenge. For the next week, catch yourself every time you say sorry when you didn't actually do anything wrong. Replace it with strength. Instead of sorry, I'm late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of sorry, this might be a bad idea, say here's an idea I've been thinking about. That shift changes how people see you and how you see yourself. Confidence is born when you realize your existence doesn't require an explanation. You're allowed to want big things. You're allowed to take up space in a conversation. You're allowed to be visible, to be heard, to be respected. When you stop apologizing for existing, people start responding to your energy differently. You command attention, not by forcing it, but by earning it through presence. You become someone others listen to, not because you're loud, but because you're rooted. Confidence isn't about pretend, it's about permission, the kind only you can give yourself. So here's the message. Stop playing small, stop diluting your worth, start owning your story, your voice, your path, Because when you stop apologizing for who you are, you give others the freedom to do the same. And that's not just confidence, that's leadership. Number 6. Build evidence that you're capable. Confidence isn't just a feeling, it's the result of evidence, and that evidence is built through action, not theory. You don't wake up one day and suddenly feel confident. You earn that feeling by stacking small wins over time, until the voice in your head starts to change from "can I" to "of course I can." Here's the truth. Your brain believes what you show it more than what you tell it. You can say, "I'm confident" in the mirror 100 times, but if your behavior doesn't back it up, your brain won't buy it. Confidence grows when your actions give your mind proof. Proof that you can handle challenges. Proof that you can keep going when it's hard. Proof that you've overcome before and you'll do it again. This is why confident people tend to be action takers. They're not smarter, luckier, or more talented. They just have more evidence. They've tried, failed, adjusted, and kept going. They've built a personal track record that tells them, "I've got this. You can do the same." And it starts with small, consistent wins. Forget trying to make massive leaps. Start by doing one thing today that challenges you. Maybe it's speaking up when you normally stay quiet. Maybe it's completing that task you've been avoiding. Maybe it's finally starting that project you've been planning for months. Whatever it is, do it. That's your next piece of evidence. Here's a practical habit. Start a confidence log. At the end of each day, write down one thing you did that required courage, discipline, or growth. Doesn't matter how small. Made the call, log it. Hit the gym, log it. Said no when you usually say yes, log it. You are building a body of proof, something real and visible you can look back on when doubt creeps in. And that's the magic, because doubt will creep in. It always does. But when you've built enough evidence, you don't collapse under doubt. You confront it. You say, "I know what I've done. I know who I've become, and I'm not going backwards." Confidence is not about pretending you have it all together. It's about knowing you've done the work. That deep inner certainty comes from experience, not ego. It's built over time, like compound interest, small actions, repeated daily, that lead to massive internal wealth. And here's what's powerful. Once you start building evidence, your brain starts to anticipate success instead of fear failure. That shift in expectation changes everything. You show up differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself like someone who's earned their confidence, because you have. So stop waiting for confidence to show up. Go build it. Stack the wins. Track your progress, and let the evidence become louder than the excuses. That's how you become the most confident person you know. Not all at once, but one undeniable proof point at a time.